It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, we have done it. We have reached finish line Friday, and around here, these parts, that means we have got a top tune to be talked about. Lay it on us, Johnny.
Well, this is actually your baby this week.
Well, I suggested it.
I Wish You Peace by the Eagles.
I love this song.
Now, that came out on their One of These Nights,
which was the album for them. That really,
right.
that
1975.
One of These Nights was their first number one single. Of course, the album was named after the single and everything. And this was the original Eagles. This was Bernie Leadon, Randy Meisner, Glenn Frey, and, of course, Don Henley. And Bernie Leadon wrote
and
this
Don
song.
Felder,
yeah.
Don't forget Don
was in there.
Yes,
he did get in on this album.
Yes.
He sure did.
But now, see, you were 5 years old.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The Eagles were a massive part of my generation.
Right.
The Eagles were a massive part of our childhood.
Right.
You know, I remember it when it came out, and I mean, it was just, you know, every radio station you tuned to, you know, those songs were in the rotation, just seemingly one right after the other.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, the Eagles were they came along at the right time. You know, they classified it as country rock.
Yes.
And I guess
maybe one of the first country rocks.
And maybe that's true.
Well,
but, you know,
and the guy we're talking about, Bernie Leadon,
yes,
he really preferred country.
Right.
I mean, he liked banjos. He liked mandolins.
Twang, you know.
He really leaned more towards country, and it was Don Henley and Glenn Frey that really wanted to take it more rock and roll, you know.
Right.
I think Randy Meisner was just rolling for the ride.
Yeah, you know.
But they couldn't have hit those notes without Randy, man.
Right. And, you know, and of course, you know, my man Don Felder, we'll agree to disagree on this. In my opinion, they ain't been the Eagles since they got rid of him.
I understand.
But, I mean, you know, it's such a massive part of my teenage years. I know we remembered my little 14-year-old girlfriend, you know, a couple of weeks ago on her birthday, February the 2nd, Lisa Gillespie from Houston.
Right.
You know, when you're young, you always got your favorite song, you know.
No doubt.
And you know, we had Best of My Loves.
There you go.
You know, that was our song, and that was the album before One of These Nights. But the Eagles, we've talked about it a lot. There's no way to put words into how important they were in the 70s into the early 80s.
Well, nobody sold more records than them.
But, you know, I remember being a teenager and standing around a fire passing the wine jug and playing Hotel California and us asking each other, you know, what do they say? What are they talking about?
Yeah, what in the world
what are they wanting us to do, you know? Are we supposed to go rob the bank or what, you know? But you know, and of course, you know, like they say about country music, you know, play the song backwards. You know, you get your wife in your truck and all that. Your dog
doesn't die, yep.
All that. But, I mean, the Eagles, and this is just one of those great songs, and I did not realize it had been remastered.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know, but great song, written by him and his girlfriend.
Patti Davis, who's the daughter of Ronald and Nancy Reagan. Ronald Reagan was the governor of California when this song came out.
And later president.
And they disowned Patti because they didn't agree with her choice of the people she was hanging out with those hippie rock and roller folks like Bernie Leadon.
Just say no.
You go.
But, you know, great song, you know, got to be in the top 5 groups of all time, top 10 for sure.
And this isn't really one of their big hits.
No.
This wasn't a
but
chart
I remember
chopper
the
or
song.
anything.
I do remember the song.
I think it's more relevant today because there's so much what I would call noise, static going on out there today. There's things pulling you in so many different directions. And for the people that you truly love, whether it's a family member, whether it's a significant other, whether it's, you know, whoever, best friend, you wish them peace, that they can find some kind of comfort and harmony in this crazy old world.
Well, I've got one floating around out there somewhere that I shared several years with, that I bear no ill will toward. I hope she finds peace. I hope she finds some direction. I certainly have. And, I would like to think that she would wish the same for me. So great song, great Friday. It's good to be alive.
And just in case you don't remember it, we're going to run a needle through it right now.
Absolutely. And enjoy it. And try to, if you're of my age, if you're in your late 50s, early 60s, remember how the air smelled and how sweet it was in 1975.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks to ProMed Ambulance Service, the Shopper's Guide, and ProMed Ambulance Service. Did I say ProMed Ambulance?
You did.
ProMed Ambulance Service deserves at least two mentions. Also, Sherwin-Williams House Paint. We'll also need to remember them, too, for being our wonderful sponsors on this great little show. We'll see you Monday, John.
See you next week, Kelly.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.